I said, we're black today.
Yeah, I got gray hair, but go ahead. I'm ready.
All right, I'm here today with Priscilla Edwards. I know a lot of y'all know her. She's famous, notorious. She's known all over the area because of her sister where she don't behave.
Yeah.
That's why. That's exactly why. Anyway, I'm here. Priscilla is family, and I'm here with her today. I'm glad that she has took time. She's been aggravating me to death wanting to be on camera.
I have.
But so she anyway, a lot of you know Priscilla from pumpkins, but that's not her only skill and gift, okay? But we're going to talk about that just a little bit, but that's not the primary subject that we're here for. The pumpkins, tell me something about giant pumpkins.
Well, once you start, you give up your entire summer.
Okay.
It's pretty hard work, but like I told you from the beginning, I had to fake it until I make it, and then finally I grew a big one. But it's hard work. It's not for a lazy person, and I like being lazy, John. Right. So I don't know what I got myself into.
And you know, when I seen Chris, I thought, what in the world?
Oh, yeah, she's
a little bit
she slave
compulsive?
drives me.
Yeah, she's a little compulsive about it. But anyway, so tell me about these things. What do you do with them? Just grow them, throw them over the hill? What do you do with them?
Sis starts prepping her. Actually, we've been prepping our ground now. We start now. And then throughout the winter, we just keep stuff on our ground. And then about April, we'll start planting our seeds inside.
Right.
We go outside at probably the end of April, risking it. And then let them grow, and then when they get through the growing process, we make it.
Yeah.
All the stress ends once we get them off the vine. Then we feed them to our animals. So it's just all that.
I think it's a tremendous project. It's not something that I would want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, and Chris keeps telling me, "Oh, you'll want to do it." I said, I just don't know, because it's a lot of work, man.
Yeah, but it's a weird thing when you start growing them, and then I tried. You know how long I tried, John. I couldn't get one.
Right. And
finally, when I did, and when you get to one that's bigger than 100 pounds, it's addictive.
That's what it seems to me like.
It is an addiction.
Yeah, I watch you do it, and it seems like it's a bit of an addiction.
Yeah, it is.
But I guess a lot of stuff is that you do. I mean, man, Lord. But I mean, it's really interesting. I mean, you know, and it fits into too your lifestyle and what you like doing.
Yeah.
You like growing.
You have to love to garden and farm. To be able to do it.
Right.
And I did like that. And I like the competition.
Yeah.
My sister did beat me this year.
Well, she was Chris is Chris is a little mean.
She
really
can be
is.
mean.
I watch her seem like she really wanted to beat you, and listen, Priscilla has a twin sister, Chris.
Yep.
Okay, and Chris is my daughter-in-law. And she is she's very competitive about stuff. All she talked about was, I got to beat my sister.
Yeah, she did it. I let her. She just.
I love that. That's beautiful.
I let her.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I think you probably saved Colson a lot of heartache.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Colson.
When you think about that, but I mean, all right. So tell me this. So let's talk about livestock.
Okay.
Tell me about animals. What do you have? What do you do?
Well, I've got a little everything. Eric has put me on a stop on the bird department, though. Can't buy no more birds. But I have chickens and turkeys, and used to have quail, John, but they flew away.
Did they? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they flew right through they're tiny.
Huh.
So, well wire don't work.
Wow.
But we raise the chickens for the eggs. I don't know why we raise the turkeys. They're just pretty. We could probably eat them, but they're pets, so we don't eat them.
Yeah. I talked to a young lady the other day. Her son has allergies, and they do quail for the eggs.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And then they're starting to eat the quail now. I guess they got so many, but they're. But she said for the allergies, the quail eggs.
Yeah, I've heard that. I was going to try the quail eggs, but my quail didn't like me. They just
no eggs.
Flew off.
Yeah. Huh. So we're thinking, what about the sheep? Tell me something about sheep.
I started the sheep. I was excited about starting them. And I started with one and then ended up with two. And then I got a lot. And then I gave all that to my husband. I said, there you go. And it has become a learning process. And sadly, we've learned by losing a lot.
Right.
But we've learned in Virginia, the soil's wet and the worm load the parasite load here is really heavy. So you have to do a lot rotation, which helps tremendous. So once you learn how many to keep in your herd, how many you can have, overpasturing area is a no-go here. You'll lose them all to parasites. But lot rotation, and he's done really well. He's also done like the pedigree of them, believe it or not.
Right.
Some just are mutts that just don't do well, and then the really good pedigree ones, they thrive better. So Eric does all that. I don't know much about it, but
Tommy's telling me about even with cows. He said some cows will eat brush different than other cows.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah. These do really good with clearing underneath the trees and stuff.
Right.
And they do reach up and get some of the thorns. I like the cultivating and the durper. That's what we have because you don't have to shear them. And I think they do real good with clearing.
Those of you who don't know, you might be able to see some of the sheep in the background. We tried to sort of get them in the background. I set up the chairs a few moments ago and come back and they'd swarm my chairs. They were all standing there. But anyway, we want to try to do for the aesthetic value to get them in the back, but that's it.
I think they took off.
Yeah, they're little camera shy. They're sheepish about being on camera.
Yeah.
So we got sheep. Didn't you have some donkeys?
No, it was you.
I thought you had something over there.
You did
Sean.
did,
Yeah.
Austin. You gave, those were beautiful.
Yeah.
Those were full size, wasn't
We
they?
had one that's sort of mean though. Didn't we have a mean one?
Yeah, I think you
thought we
did.
unloaded a mean one on y'all. That we had.
That was a mule, wasn't it?
Well,
a
yeah,
miniature
yeah,
mule.
it was. It was a little bit mean.
Yeah.
The bigger they are, the meaner they are. When it comes to those.
Yeah, I haven't dealt with many of those,
Yeah.
but just sheep and chickens and
Yeah.
gardening. That's what I do.
We like chickens, but the foxes liked them more than we did.
Yeah, I had a fox
so we
problem.
couldn't do nothing with them.
I have a possum problem. They are
Yeah.
just a terrible. Most people don't think that possums will destroy your. Everyone's like, oh, they just eat dead stuff. They don't bother your livestock. We have walked in the barn with them on top of live turkeys, just eating them alive. So they are a nuisance.
Well, I think about those a lot, and it's hard to keep them around some stuff. You just have trouble.
Yeah, you do.
You really do have trouble keeping them, and we've run into the same thing before. But
I hate to interrupt the program, but I want to remind you to like, follow, and subscribe, because if you love it and you want to see more, you have to do those things so you don't miss a single video.
Yeah.
I don't know. We had trouble. All right, well, let's talk about it. We cleared up the important stuff and got it out of the way.
All right.
But now,
I acted like I knew what I was talking about.
let's talk about family.
Okay.
Okay. Are you married? Do you have children? Do you live in the country? I mean,
Yep, I am married to a wonderful husband. He was God sent for sure. He was in the Marine Corps, and we became pen pals. And we wrote for several years, handwritten,
Right.
not email.
That's really strange.
Then we went into email after a few handwritten.
That makes sense, yeah.
And then we met, and he was my best friend, and we have a beautiful family. I have 2 boys, and we live here in Virginia. I drug him from Oklahoma here.
Right.
His family are probably not too happy about that.
Okay.
But I love his family. I'm very close to his family, and I'm blessed to have good in-laws.
I hate to interrupt the program, but I want to remind you to like, follow, and subscribe, because if you love it and you want to see more, you have to do those things so you don't miss a single video.
And blessed to have a wonderful husband.
That's good. He's a good fella.
He is a good one.
He really is. And I hope to talk to him later on too and just get some time with him.
Yep.
He's really versatile.
Yeah.
Okay, is that a good way to put it? He is well versed in about everything.
Yeah.
And he seems like the type of man that learns. Once he goes after something, then he'll stop me, and I can tell when he changes gears when he's talking to me.
Yep.
And he'll begin to tell me some information that I can see him pulling it back from his mind. And he just like that. Seems like
he studies everything.
That's what he
everything.
Like. Yeah.
So he's pretty clever, handy to have too.
I can see where that would be very, very good. Yeah, but he's good. Well, when we talk about family, tell me about do you have a mother and father? Were you hatched, or how did this come about?
Yeah, I have the best mom and dad.
Okay, you got the best husband and the best mom and dad, best kids.
I have had a
a lot
very.
of people are going to be jealous.
They may be. I've had a very good life. I'm very thankful for my life. My mom and dad have taught me to love God and serve God. And I think when you are in that environment and you put your foot forward for God, you will be blessed. Not saying I ain't had bad times. I've had bad times, but your good override your bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm blessed to have mom and dad to teach me to keep going forward.
Yeah. Did they beat you much growing up?
Yeah, I got in trouble all the time.
That's what I was just thinking. It seemed like you girls probably got whipped a lot.
My sister more than me.
Well, again, I was talking about her a few moments ago, Again, Priscilla has a twin sister named Chris,
Yep.
which we're going to have to do Chris's interview a little different. We're going to conceal cameras, hidden cameras, and do hers and not let her know about
Yeah.
it. But anyway, she's very tense.
Yeah, she is.
She's very tense.
She
And
reminds me of a chihuahua.
Jody told me something when it was your wedding we was at. You know, you come in on the horse and the
Yeah.
buggy. It was all really neat. It was
Yeah.
some cool stuff. Man, it was some cool stuff. Anyway, he looked at me and said, John, Jody's very stern. John, he said, you know, they sort of look alike, but they're nothing alike. That's what he said. That's what he told me. Then
Yeah.
he just went right on back. He went right back into another mode.
Yeah, that's
He was,
my
he
character.
said, they're just totally different, he said. But I enjoyed him. I tell you what, your mom and dad are really good people. Known
Yep.
them a long time, and I think about them a lot. And one thing that tickles me about your mom, you pretty much know where she stands.
Yep.
When you talk to her a little bit.
Yep.
And I think that comes with age. She probably wasn't like that early on.
Yeah.
But you get a little older, you start to say, well, I'll just tell you what I'm thinking.
She
you know?
does too.
And
Yeah.
she tickles me to death with that. Now your dad's a little more even keel.
Yep.
He'll take a drink of coffee.
Yep.
Talk to you about it just a little bit. And then he'll go on. But now your mom, she plows right in.
She does.
I like
Yep.
that.
Yep.
I
I'm
enjoy
gonna be
that.
like her one day.
Well, we've talked about the better part of the family. Let's talk about Sean.
Oh boy.
I mean, you've got a brother. She has a brother named Sean
Yeah.
who can absolutely run a tractor, though, and a bucket. I mean, I was thinking, I was telling Tommy a minute ago, I said, he can back blade and do stuff and take a bucket and do
Yeah,
things.
he's good with
He
equipment.
is good.
He's very good
I
with
mean, he
equipment.
can-
Don't tell him I said
and
that.
work on
but-
things.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I watch him. I work, watch it. I didn't work with him. I watched him work, though, and he is good.
Yes, he is. He can, if anything happens to anything on the farm, he says, I'll fix it.
Yeah.
And he fixes it. But, during the process of him fixing it, he worries me a little bit.
I can understand that.
But he gets it going and it goes.
He can do it, though.
Yeah.
He's versed, too. I mean, he can just,
yeah.
he's, and I tell you what worries me about the generation we have now. I don't know if they're going to be the same cloth of
I
men
know.
like Sean. And I could just talk to Tommy Muncie.
Mhm.
Talk to him. Even when we talk about Eric,
Yeah.
okay, that can do everything.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's I just don't know.
Well, I think it is a fading thing. I think it
Right.
is. I encourage my boys. I hope I train them to be that way. Instead of like, oh, I can't do that.
Right.
Oh, that's too much work or it's too hard. Just get in there and do it. That's the way Sean is. Sean
Yeah.
knows it's hard work, but
Right.
and he probably don't even know if he can do it. But
Mhm.
he gets in there and does it, and then he learns as he goes. Same with Eric. They don't know what they're doing starting out with some things, but I think that's what we're missing in
So-
a lot today is people are too worried and scared that they're not going to be able to do it when you
Right.
should just do it. Just try.
I took John Colson a while back, and I had about 20 screwdrivers,
Yep.
Phillips, straights, different sizes
Yep.
and lengths, and I was pouring them out on the porch outside. And I said, I'm going to teach you without these screwdrivers. What's a 4-way and what's a flathead?
Yep.
And just went through them with him.
Mhm.
Okay, and it took several times, but until he could say, all right, yeah, this is this is
Mhm.
that, because we take for granted, because you can send a kid to get a tool out of a toolbox, go get me a crescent wrench, and
Yeah.
they'll say, what is it?
Yeah.
Okay, and I think that's sometimes, and we take for granted, especially my generation, that they just know
Yeah.
instead of taking time to teach them.
Mhm.
And I've tried to with Carter, let him work. We wired up some receptacles,
Yeah.
just stuff like that, saying, all right, I want you to wire this up. This is how you do it. I'm not going to do it for you. And because I think part of it is our fault, because
It
we do
is.
stuff for them.
It is, and a lot of TV and screens and games, and
Yeah.
my boys haven't hit that area yet, and I hope they
Right.
don't. But I agree with you. It's mostly how we bring them up, and
Yeah.
I'm blessed to have a husband who will, when he's changing oil, he has the boys there with him,
Right.
so they'll know how to do these life skills as they get older. And I think it is us. I think
Yeah.
we have, as parents, just not been a good teacher like we have.
However,
Yeah. So we
we
just
would do stuff for them.
yeah, we do. We do, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
And my daddy, I would probably never do this, which
Yeah.
I started this year.
Right.
He put me in a truck, a stick shift
Right.
at 10,
Yeah.
probably younger than that, in a hayfield.
Uh-huh.
You drive, I'm going to load the hay down. I would never think, I would never put
See?
no intercating in.
And what we do, that's not good. We
No,
should.
because
we
they're
need to
not
let
go-
them learn.
We do. We need to do that. And I have caught myself
Yeah.
because Eric was be telling me, quit babying them, quit babying them.
Right.
I have let up,
Right.
and they've gotten better.
What about going in the house and shutting the door?
Yeah, they don't shut the door.
See
when
what I
they
mean?
go to
No, I mean
house.
leaving the kids outside.
Oh, I don't do that.
See?
And my mom, I used to play in the mountains.
And say, don't come back. My mom.
Okay. I know you're watching the program, but I had to jump in and interrupt and tell you to make sure you like, share, follow this page. If you want to talk about this show with your friends, share it so they can watch it and join in on the fun too.
Put me out and say, no, you don't come back till dark or whatever. And I'm thinking, but
even my sister, she would, me and her would hit them out. She would never.
No, I mean, I can see her now putting Colson out and shutting the door and going in and watching something on TV.
Yeah.
No, I mean, if she gets more than 10 feet away from him, then we've really done something.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, but I mean, it's something, I think it's our fault.
Yeah.
More y'all's fault, not me. I don't have to
you're
worry
right.
about that now.
But we did, the other day we did one thing that, because I am bad for that, with not letting my kids go off, but we put them in the field and it's fenced in. Where they gonna go?
And your boys are pretty good size.
Yeah, and I said, yeah, they can get out.
Yeah.
So, and they played there the entire day, and I didn't interrupt them. And Colson was with them, and they told me that night, Mom, we had such a good time. We played pretend guns and Indians. It's like, well, maybe that's what we need to do is quit making them think they can't do things. And
I think we can hover them. You hover them. Your generation. One thing I've watched you do, okay, and it's versus, and my generation, several generations back from there, about 5. But I mean, it seems like you hover them a little tight.
Yeah.
Instead of letting them.
I'm guilty
letting
for
them
that.
do those things.
I'm very guilty for that.
Huh. Well, all right.
Our sheep's back.
All right, that's good. Good to see him back. But anyway, so when we think about family and we think about growing up, let's talk about this. What are some memories that growing up as a young girl, where you grew up? What are some memories that stick out in your mind?
Well, my favorite memory, and it's a silly one, is Mom and Dad. They would get a cooler and they'd get just lunch meat and bread, and we would just ride these back hollers all day long, and we'd eat in the car, eat some chips. Those are my favorite memories. I love that. I try to get Eric to do that with me because that's my favorite memories. He says, that's wasting a lot of gas. You know how much gas is what he says.
Right.
But that is my favorite memory with my parents, just spending quality time with them. We didn't need theme parks. We didn't need anything. Just was good quality time together. And I love that. And that's one, and walking in the mountains. That's why me and Sis love being in the mountains. Our husband may not like to be in the mountains like we do. But that's just something we did growing up, and that's what I like doing with my kids.
That's good. But those memories stand out to you, though.
Yeah, they are. The two.
Really do. I mean, well, when you think about, so what are some of the big changes when you think about now and then? I mean, what are you seeing a big difference in the world we live in?
Huge difference. I think people, you can't hardly say nothing because people gets offended. And back then, their feelings wasn't on their shoulders. So I think that has made a lot of our generation and younger kids very sensitive. And they shouldn't be. They should be tough. And I don't know, it's just different how you have to constantly watch what you say, and because you don't mean nothing by some things and it could hurt people. So it's just an odd time.
Yeah, a little more sensitive.
Yeah.
Okay. I know there's a lot of things words that I used growing up that we can't use now.
Yeah.
And I think about it, it is strange.
It is strange. We can barely say pray for someone, because if someone's in that group that doesn't believe in prayer, we offended them. And I'm not, I mean, it's just, I'm scared to be me.
When you can't say idiot no more, hard at all, or stupid, or you idiot, you can't say things like that. And you can think them, but you can't say them.
No.
You can't hardly say them. It's funny. I mean, I really do think about the changes in the world.
Yeah.
And everything's moving at a faster pace.
It is.
It's man, it's just popping.
And the people can't turn off, like we usually can come home and turn off the outside world. The outside world comes home to our kids. Like they have social media. There's never a turn off. Like they cannot just be themselves. They have to constantly have the outside world dictating where they go and what they should be, or and that's another thing. I think it's no rest for the kids because they don't ever get a turn off.
Always sort of in gear and all.
Okay.
All right. So when we think about this, if today I had to say this, what I want you to do, and I know I'm not really just talking. I know it's hard to do outside of family, outside of church, outside of mom and dad. I mean, what if you want to do something that made you happy? Just you do something that made you happy. I mean, what makes? And I know that's hard,
Yeah.
okay, because everything in your life at this point revolves around family,
Yeah.
revolves around church,
Yeah.
revolves around mom and dad. It all does.
Yeah.
But see, there's a part of you, something you do.
Mm-hmm.
And I ask this question because I can't think of anything for me. Okay, but I mean, I enjoy this.
Yeah.
Okay, but I enjoy just talking to people and people that I like. And I would like to interview some people I don't like.
Yeah, that would
so I
like
could
to
really
see that
ask them
too.
some
Yeah.
questions. But but when you think about what makes you happy, what would you do today? If I said, hey, what do you want to do? There's no limit, nothing, no limitations.
I think I would get in a truck and drive and see all over the United States. That's what I would love to do. That would be something I've always wanted to do.
Right.
I'm a history girl, so I would like to go see all the historical areas. That would be something I would do. That would be something I've dreamed of doing.
That's really good.
Yeah.
What about the Civil War? Have you ever studied on that?
I have. Love it.
Golly.
Love it.
600,000 people.
I know it.
I listen because I read slow, but I've got a podcast that's 1 hour. It's 1 hour in history. I listen to a lot of stuff, but I've been going through like the Civil War.
Yeah.
And thinking of how vicious and how
It was.
awful.
Yeah. Terrible.
Like, like 150,000 people on each side died just from starvation.
I know it.
And things like that. And I'm thinking, what in the world, man? That's a piece of tin blowing.
Okay,
what is that? Something coming after us. It scared the kids too. But I think about things in the Civil War, how vicious it was.
It was bad.
And gee, you know that in the Confederate Army, that there was no left and right shoe.
Really?
Both shoes were the same. And when you joined the army, you had to bring 2 horses.
Yeah.
Your own rifle, and your clothes. But if you didn't have a horse, you were part of the infantry.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't have a gun, you had to wait for someone to die so you'd get their gun.
Yeah, I think they did that with the shoes too, didn't they?
Yeah, they took all the shoes and stuff. But it was just so thinking about traveling is really it's good to do.
Yeah. Well, I think we don't push history. I mean, it's sad parts of history, but if you don't know it,
Right.
I mean, that's what built America. That's how we are where we are today.
Yeah.
And I love history. And Shiloh, Tennessee is where I went, where Brenda and Uncle Roger used to live.
Okay.
That's what got me into really a lot of history, was when I went down there and just seeing the statues that were made back in the 1800s. You wouldn't believe how detailed and beautiful those statues are compared to what you see today. These were out of this world.
Yeah.
And so you need to put that on your bucket list.
That is really, I enjoy it. I like that stuff, and I enjoy learning about history. I didn't. In school was my failure. I didn't learn in school.
Yeah.
I really didn't
either.
There's so many smart people I went to school with. I think about Santina State, and I think about Rocky King, and I think about all those people, my cousin Lynn, people that really learned and did a lot. Tim Boyd keeps thinking I'm going to say his name, but I don't. He goes, when you talk about smart people, I know he's thinking, why don't you say my name? But I think about people that really were something, how I admire them. I think about how they learned and how they really, and I didn't. I worked in the coal mines when I was in high school, and I didn't really pay any attention in school. I just wanted to get through year after year.
Yeah, that was me.
And never thought about learning.
No,
I just
never.
wanted to get through it and get out.
Yep.
Not knowing it was the best time.
I hate to interrupt the program, but I want to remind you to like, follow, and subscribe, because if you love it and you want to see more, you have to do those things so you don't miss a single video.
Of my life.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the easiest time, that I think about it.
Yeah.
And I think about that. But okay, we talked about some stuff that's sort of important, but now let's talk about something. Let's talk about money.
Oh,
Okay.
I like talking about money.
I know you do. You're entrepreneur hearted. Okay. But when we think about money, there's people out here, and I want to clear this up. I'm not talking about paying your tithes. I'm not talking about giving any offering or supporting your church. Okay, that's all. Let's take that at an even keel. We understand that. But there's people that do all those things,
Yeah.
but they live a life of poverty.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's some keys. There's people that live off the same amount of money that Eric makes every month,
Mm-hmm.
that don't pay their power bill. They can't afford to rent a house. They
Yeah.
can't get anything in their name. What are some keys you find about money that you are successful?
Yeah.
Okay, you
Yeah.
have to first acknowledge you're successful.
Yeah.
because you're driving a nice truck. You
Yep.
keep your power turned on. You're buying groceries. This is good. Okay. So what are some keys advice you give to people that need to do better?
Well, you know, we are a one income family. I
Okay.
chose to stay home and raise my boys and teach them. So we don't live a poor life. We are very blessed to be able, but we're also we're cautious and careful. Like instead of going out and buying a brand new truck, we will find something that with low miles that's older that would be nice, and it's nice.
Right.
And we just think smart. Like, can we swing this payment? We just think before we buy. We don't jump into anything. And I'm not a spender. I'm a very simple gal. So I don't spend a lot on clothes. Just give me a black t-shirt and a pair of jeans and we'll be happy. But we're very cautious on how we spend. We spend more on the boys than we do between me and him.
Mm-hmm.
And bills are priority. That's what you got to understand in life. It's priority over all things. And you can save. I do side jobs, and I think Sis will do it too. And we do side jobs just to have what we call our play money.
Right.
And you could do little things that me and Eric, we go to take the boys on vacation, and we do one big thing, but we also do a lot of free things in the area that is lots of fun. You're still making memories. Mm-hmm. You're still on vacation, but you don't have to spend all that money. Yeah. There's a lot of fun things you can do with your family, and you can still pay the bills.
I did laugh at you all one time. We laughed a lot at you all when you left. When y'all went up to that place in Myrtle Beach, that big park thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't remember what it was
was the
called.
Name? The Huntington.
I hate to interrupt the program, but I want to remind you to like, follow, and subscribe, because if you love it and you want to see more, you have to do those things so you don't miss a single video.
Anyway, it was so hot that day.
Yes.
And y'all were taking all the kids and going.
That was awful.
And
what was the name of that?
Oh, I forget.
Brooks Green Garden.
Brooks Green Garden. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And I know it's good for some people. Yeah. Don't get us wrong.
Yeah.
But with the kids and everything, they asked Janice and I. Colson said, why don't y'all go with us? And we said, no, we think we'll be all right. We knew it was going to be HELL. I said, it's going to be bad. Because it was hot.
The humidity was terrible.
Yeah, it was hot.
The kids were miserable.
I knew they were going to be miserable. And that was good. That was good for us. It brought joy to us.
Yes, I'm glad we can do that.
Yeah. So in your money, you got to be thrifty.
Yeah, thrifty.
You got to be conscious of what you're spending.
Yep. Take
time and say, all right, and you can't get everything you want.
No, I want a side by side, but I can't have that right now.
Can't have it. But see, those are very expensive. But you think about, not getting everything you just want.
Yeah, that's important. That's the important thing.
Even if you can finance it.
Yep. Yeah.
There's the key.
Yeah.
Even if you can
if anything, you can get about anything you want in today's time.
Yeah.
But the thing is you don't need it, and it's going to put you in a pinch. So you just got to. My husband's like, you got to think of what we need. I told him the other day, I want a side by side. He said, well, honey, our house burned down. We ain't even got a house yet.
Pretty good.
So I'm like, good point. So we're saving for that.
Yeah. You think about things that you really, and there's things we all want.
Yeah.
And we have to decide. And I think one thing in finances is deciding what you want. You're always doing this. You're working for money, trading your money, your time for money is all you're doing. You're trading all the time.
Yeah.
And you got to figure out if it's really worth trading for.
Yeah. And another thing we keep in mind, if we go in debt for things that we want, would be nice to have, but would we get to go places and make memories with your kids? So we just make sure we pick that over my side by side.
Well, I can see that. Well, when you talk about doing side hustles and doing side things, okay? I know you're pretty good at selling things.
I am
you're pretty good.
Decent. Take that after my papa.
I think you can sell about anything. You're really good. Chris can sell stuff. She can take something. You said, well, look at that pile of junk. Next thing you know, she's selling it, and 2 or 3 people are coming to pick it up.
Yeah, that's me.
Which keeps you busy.
Yeah, it does. I've about sold everything in horse pen,
so
I have nothing left. And then the other stuff that's there, I got, they threatened me. No, you're not putting that on the marketplace.
Yeah.
But sheep has became, we don't get rich off sheep, but it has became a little side money that you can do.
Yeah.
And they don't cost a lot, actually, especially if you just graze them on grass.
Yeah.
And, you know, me and the boys, we raised a huge watermelon patch.
Okay.
And they get all the money for that. But they made good money out of that. They
Yeah.
made $300 and some this
Huh.
year. And that was, they bought little mow control cars with it.
Yeah.
And see, what else do I do everything.
I think that's good.
You know, we sell some pumpkins.
Right.
And that's just growing and gardening
Yeah.
and farming. And I don't know.
But you got to enjoy it.
I love it. I love what I do.
I think that when we talk back to, when we talk about finances and doing those things, that's a big thing that you just enjoy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we talked about some things,
Mm-hmm.
but now let's talk about marriage.
Okay.
Okay. You seem like you and Eric are pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, unless you're really hiding it, you seem like you're doing really well. I mean, a good relationship.
Yeah.
Your kids seem fairly stable. Seem like they really are. I mean, they're good kids.
They are.
I mean, they really are.
I have them blessed with
They're
good boys.
loose right now, but I mean, they seem like good kids. What are some keys to a good marriage?
Well, it's a teamwork.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Eric have our bad times, but we don't argue a lot at all. So, and he's a real quiet guy, and he's just a good husband. I mean,
Yeah.
I just really love
So
him.
you credit your good marriage strictly to him?
Yeah, probably, because
Okay.
I can be moody. You know, I can be moody sometimes when I get stressed out, and he just tolerates me sometimes. But teamwork, really. I
Yeah.
think Eric is the head of the house, and I let him be the head of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And he sets an example for the boys, and I think that's why. I also think that's why you have good kids is
Yeah.
when the kids see a good, strong, manly figure in a home. They're scared of him. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So they know to be good.
Yeah.
But no, but he's good, so they're going to be good. It's basically like reflections.
Yeah.
You know, if you be mouthy to your husband, Caden probably seen me get mouthy once, and he'd try to act like me, and I'll have to correct myself.
Right.
So
Yeah.
their kids are reflections, and
Yeah.
the key to good marriage is, to me, being about your best friend and just be friends, do things together. Eric does. He never says anything against my weird plans or my weird dreams.
Okay.
He just does it. And yeah, that's what you want to do. and that's a key thing. And I help him out, which he don't have many things he wants to do.
You don't have time.
No, he don't.
I'm get done doing all the stuff you want to
No,
do.
that's what it is. But that's the key, is friendship and
Yeah.
teamwork.
And I think, to be nice.
Yeah.
To each other.
Yeah,
I mean,
agree with
be
that.
kind.
Yeah.
Now, some people are just donkeys, and they're not going to be nice to nobody.
No.
Okay. And I used to wear donkey, so I don't get. But,
Yeah.
but they're like that, and I'm glad when I see two of those people get together,
Yeah.
so they don't hurt somebody else.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Okay. I know you're watching the program, but I had to jump in and interrupt and tell you to make sure you like, share, follow this page. If you want to talk about this show with your friends, share it so they can watch it and join in on the fun too.
and I think you should. If you're not kind, you need to change.
Yeah.
And catch yourself.
Yeah, and being kind. And also, if you find that you're getting in a rut to where you're feeling frustrated, just stop and go enjoy the two of you.
Yeah.
That's important. Just
Exactly.
go and take time
Yeah.
for the two of you. That's important in marriage. Time
Yes,
for
it
the
is.
wife and time for the husband. Quality
Yeah.
times you don't get when you're around a lot of people. So
Yeah.
that's
Because you
important.
spend a lot of time raising kids.
Yeah, yeah.
You got about good 18 years in there.
Yeah,
And of course, mine live beside me, so
yeah.
and they're close. So
Can't get rid of them.
I have to leave. I have to physically leave town.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Yeah. We left the other night about 9:00 at night. Everybody kept saying, Colson said, "Where are y'all at?" I said, "We're in Bristol." I said, "We're leaving here.
Yeah, you got to leave them.
50 gallon of water. We're out of town, man." But I think you're right. I
Yeah.
think the understanding and being kind.
Yeah,
And all right, I'm going to put you in a spot that I don't usually put women in.
go ahead.
Okay, but I feel like you're tough enough to handle.
I can do
this. If you had to say today, to be a better wife, an area in your life, and I know now this is a hard thing because, and doesn't men and women are different. Most women have no idea. They'll say nothing in the world. But I mean, if you had to really say, this is one thing I really need to work on to be a better wife, this is what I need to do.
Well, for me, if I get nervous or just, I don't know, like if something comes at me and I get nervous or agitated, I wish I could not show my emotions, not show that. Like if I can hold that in and let that pass. I think that would be, because that puts stress on the husband
Mm-hmm.
and puts stress on your kids. They say, Mom, why aren't you happy? Well, not that I'm happy. I'm just nervous at that moment, but I
Right.
wish I can hold that in and not. That'd be my thing to work on.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
Yeah. I
Slowly.
think it's really good.
Yeah. But that's it. You know how women just, not want to say us women snap, but you know what I mean. We just,
no. See,
we
you're
can
trying to make me agree with you, and I'm not doing that.
yeah, don't agree.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I see that I could get, nervous real fast.
Yeah.
And I guess it's between. That's why God made men a little bit stronger, I think, because I can't handle some things.
Because you're emotional.
Yes.
But women,
yeah.
are, I mean, most women are emotional.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. To control my emotions would be wonderful.
Yeah. I think your mom does good.
She does great.
She's cool.
Yeah, she
about
is.
that.
That's
She
really good.
just
Yep.
sort of goes right along.
Yep.
But I mean, she got a few years on you.
Yeah, got to work at it.
And
It's a work in progress.
So I think that's great. I mean, that is a good challenge to do too.
Yeah, it's
I
hard.
mean, to slow down.
It's hard.
And I've always thought one of the worst things people can say about you is there's somebody that always says what's on their mind.
Yeah.
Because you can change your mind.
Yeah, you can.
But you can't change once you say it. You
Yeah.
can't never take it back.
Mm-mm. Nope.
And if Janice says, "Does this dress make me look too fat?" Okay, So I just act like I don't hear and walk out of the room because there's no right answer.
Yeah, yeah.
So sometimes in situations like you're talking about, getting a hold of your emotions,
Yeah.
and sort of pulling that
Yeah,
back,
that's my biggest thing.
it's good.
And I'm working on it.
Okay. Well, all right. We talked about you. We can talk about Eric a little bit since he's not here.
Okay.
Okay, can't defend himself. Does Eric do any cooking?
No.
No cooking?
No.
See, that's so good. He
None.
needs. Why doesn't he?
I tell him, I
He
said,
should watch
look,
me.
John, that's what I said.
cook.
He does watch you. I
I'm
said, are
old.
you learning a recipe to cook for me?
I will talk to him.
No, he does not cook.
He doesn't-
I've cooked every meal from the day we've been married. I think one time he did try to cook me eggs, and John, it was not pleasant.
Okay.
If eggs can taste like cardboard, and I don't
Right.
even really know what cardboard, I'm assuming cardboard has no taste. That's probably what he failed on the eggs. But no, he don't cook.
Well, that's something. Does he clean up around the house at all?
He does help a little bit when he's not busy.
Like what do you mean? Give me an
if
example.
he sees I'm getting frustrated, he'll help me. He helped me clean up. Well, now I'm living in Mom's end of the house. So
Right.
the other day he helped me clean up our room, it just relieved so much off of me just to have that help. And he does do that. If I ask him to do something, he'll do
Does
it.
he pick up his drawers, or does he put them in a hamper, or what does he do?
No, he throws his stuff beside the dresser.
Socks too?
Yeah, I have to pick it up and take it to the laundry
See, I'll have a
room.
talk with him.
Yeah, please talk to him.
Yeah, that doesn't make any
The
sense.
socks is my thing I can't handle. Don't
Okay.
take your socks off and just throw them in the floor
How
anywhere.
come people do that?
I don't like it.
understand it.
I have not done that. Everything I take off goes to the laundry basket. It's not
Yeah.
that hard.
I mean, I tell you, one of the greatest things we've done too is and now we took one of our bedrooms in our house and turned it into a closet.
Yeah, that's smart.
And the smartest thing we ever did, and you learn this when you do get you another home, we put our washer and dryer in our closet
That's smart.
because
You don't have to carry it and hang it up.
isn't that crazy?
that is
Why do you not do that?
That's really smart.
I mean, why don't they design homes with the washer and dryer in the closet?
That's smart.
You mean we used to have it in the basement? You'd have it
Yeah.
off in another county. You have. I mean, I thought that's so silly, but we put that washer and dryer in our closet. The best thing we ever done.
That is very intelligent.
And Janice put my underwear in the bathroom. I got my own drawer.
That's I mean, that's the one
Where
thing
do I
you
need my underwear
Yeah,
at? I need them in the
bathroom,
drawer in
yeah.
the bathroom.
Yeah.
She put them right in there, and I thought, here we are, been married 40 years, and it took us this long to figure it out.
Yeah.
Put it right there, pull them out. Everything's in where it needs to
That
be.
is exactly where it needs to be if you think about it.
We learned a lot, but it's been a long time. But I think it's good. You look at challenges and you look at things.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I admit I didn't cook for a long time, probably 35 years. But anyway, it's good. It's good if we go along and work on stuff. And
Yeah.
I think it's great. It really is. Well, okay. I'm gonna hit you with this last question, and I don't know. Okay.
Sheep are staring at us.
Yeah, we got a full group
Yeah.
of sheep right now that are looking us in the eye. They can't understand who we're talking to. But when we think about music, I know we can talk about. I always listen to praise and worship, and I listen to hymns, and I always got my hands in the air, and I
Yeah.
understand all that. But
Uh-oh.
I got a sheep looking at my tripod right now. They're really getting into it.
Okay.
But what kind of music do you like?
You know, John, it's sad. I just now purchased the Sirius XM radio yesterday because I
right.
don't get to listen to much music where I live. But I
All
like
right, quit. Get
I
away
like
from there.
oldies.
Hold
shoot,
on.
shoot.
Hold on a second. I got to run the sheep off. Go on now. Just get out. Get out.
I love
The sheep are eating the tripod.
they were going to knock it down. I love worship music.
Uh-huh.
That's the main thing I go to. And call me old fashioned. I like good old bluegrass.
Okay. There's
I
nothing
like
wrong with that.
classic.
Classic bluegrass.
Yeah, and I
Good.
love it. That's my go-to. And I like some oldies.
Okay.
Makes
The channel 7 on there is 70s music. It's good.
So I just now got it
Okay,
yesterday.
got
I
it,
live
got it,
in
okay.
the sticks. I ain't had
And you
no
know,
radio in years.
There's one channel that's all Elvis.
I seen that on there today.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I listen to it a lot. I listen to marital advice, okay? And I've been married 42 years. Same woman.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been married
Yeah.
50 years, but several women.
Yeah.
So do you and Eric ever dance?
I have not, no.
See, you need to.
We're terrible dancers.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. When the kids go to sleep,
Yeah.
you need to. It will cause your marriage to blossom.
Yeah.
When the kids go to sleep, nobody's looking. Put your little slow music on there
And dance.
and say, let's just do it.
All right.
If you'll do it, I'm telling you, I promise you.
All right. I'll tell him to do it.
Yeah.
He'll
I'll mention
talk
something
to
to him about it. If you just, now I do a little jig in the mornings, okay, by myself.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean I dance a little bit in the house, down the hallway, and
Yeah.
I pull my drawers up on the side like
Yeah.
Tom Cruise, and Janice just smiles, and I shake,
Yeah.
do the twist, and I can do the robot.
Yeah. Well, that's good,
I do the
John.
robot, but I like it. I think it helps you keep you young.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. And it also probably boosts the mood in the morning.
It makes her
you happy.
laugh.
Yeah.
She laughs. I think she's laughing at me, but it's good.
Yeah.
It really is good. I think it's good. I admire you too, and admire you raising your kids, and like you said, the big thing we got nowadays is, and I know a lot of people can't help it, but not having a good father figure in the home is a real challenge.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes people go through things where it is impossible.
Yeah.
It is impossible, and it's just. I know it's hard. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not giving, but if you sort of plan up front instead of freewheeling it.
Yeah.
And if you plan, and I've always said, if you don't plan your day will plan you.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't plan your life will plan you.
Yep.
You got to plan in advance.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look and say, hey, I got a plan for the next 5 years, okay, and then it can change.
Yeah.
Over the next 12 months, or it can change. Like what you're talking about, even for a home or a car or for kids going to school, or I get you a plan and then let it change.
Yeah.
Write it in pencil.
I agree with that. A plan, and I had in my mind all my life I knew I was going to have a man who loved God like I did.
Right.
And I waited until
Yeah.
I found someone like that.
Yeah.
And planning out that step in life, and then me and he'll make plans now together.
Right.
And I agree with planning. Planning is
Yeah.
important, and if it don't work out, if the kids don't have strong fathers in their house, there's nothing more fearful than a
Yes,
strong
ma'am.
mama
Yeah.
who prays. And
Exactly.
so moms can do it. Moms
Yeah.
can raise them
Yeah.
kids. I've seen plenty of strong
Yeah.
mommies doing it
Yes, sure have.
and raise good kids.
Yeah.
I think it's either with husbands and wives and dads and moms planning it out and putting God first, and
Yeah.
that's my thing.
I agree with you. I really believe that.
Yeah.
I think we got to take time, and marrying the right person, okay, is and that doesn't just happen,
No.
okay, and that doesn't just happen overnight. I mean, if you take time, it can set so many catastrophes in motion,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
okay, that can being with her, and if you just need to take time, young people need to think about that. You got to really think.
No,
about
don't
that.
rush into nothing. Get to
Yeah.
know them and
Right.
pray about it.
All right, let's talk about this. And I got something coming up. Let's talk about forgiveness.
Okay.
Okay, forgiveness is an important topic in our life because I think forgiveness controls our health.
Mm-hmm.
It controls our relationship with our family and our kids.
Yep.
Having forgiveness. What are your thoughts about having forgiveness in our life?
I think forgiveness is a very key of living. So you can't go through life bitter and you can't go through life having a grudge.
Right.
I can get upset with someone pretty fast, but by the next week I'm hugging their neck, and if they don't want, if they
Right.
want it or not.
Right.
And so forgiving people is important, and it's a must. You can't live life
Right.
with a grudge, and just forgive them, or just forgive and forget about it and
Right.
move on. So
Yeah.
don't hold nothing on you for the rest of
Right.
your life, because that will mold you into a very bad person.
Yes,
You'll be
ma'am.
bitter, and you just won't live your fullest if you hold that.
Yeah.
It can really mess you up. So forgive and forget. That's how you do
Yeah.
it, and move on.
There's no advantage to unforgiveness, you know.
Yeah.
And just because we forgive people doesn't mean we'll forget it, and it doesn't mean that they'll do better.
Yeah.
It just means it's about us forgiving.
Yeah. Yeah. And for your own health too. So
Yeah.
and it's good for you.
Because it affects your marriage. You having unforgiveness for somebody else can affect the people you love, your
Yeah.
relationship with
Yep.
people you love.
Sure can.
It really is a challenge. And I've shared with people before, and I was sharing earlier with someone how we can have, there's situations in people's life, and I've spoke to them before, and they tell me about something that happened.
Yeah.
And I could see no way I could forgive that person for what
Yeah.
they done. And then we talk about it, and I said, but God has if you'll ask him, he'll help you forgive.
He can. Absolutely.
If you'll ask him, say, God, help me forgive this person.
He can do it. And
Yeah.
and only by God, for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for God, I probably wouldn't forgive half the people
Yeah,
around.
you know, and it's not like somebody
And-
stepping on your toe.
No.
If bad stuff happens,
Yeah.
somebody does something to your family.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
I have a hard time forgiving someone right now with the situation in our family, but I put it in God's hands.
Right.
We can't do nothing there. You know,
Right.
we can't fix that situation.
Right.
But don't let that disrupt my life, because it was for a while.
Right.
And I was like, there it is, God.
Well, here's the thing why I think you can have some little dirtbag do something to your family or do something
Yeah.
to you. Okay? And I'm telling you, little dirt bags can do it.
Yeah.
And they'll do something to you. And you can almost hold.
Okay. I know you're watching the program, but I had to jump in and interrupt and tell you to make sure you like, share, follow this page. If you want to talk about this show with your friends, share it so they can watch it and join in on the fun too.
Hold on to the unforgiveness, and they don't care about you.
No.
So what you're doing is you're holding on to something that's hurting you and that not hurting them.
Yep. And another thing is, I've been one of those people who wants to get on there. I'm going to post a post, you know. I'm going to tell them, just don't. Just don't do it. I've made a few.
Yeah.
Made a few and deleted them. Just that's another thing about me being a woman. The emotions got the better of me, but you have to just, in some situations, just forget it until you can forgive them.
Right.
So
That's exactly.
so just forget about the situation until you have that in you to forgive.
But you know, the funny thing is, some situations you won't even ask the Lord to help you.
Yeah.
Because you're so mad at him. You won't say, God, help me to forgive this person.
Yeah.
Because you're so mad at him, you don't want God to help you.
Yeah.
You want to stay mad.
I'm at that place right now.
That's what I mean.
That's right there.
You're thinking that.
And so now I have to watch, because I'm like, God, let them feel the hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
Let them feel the hurt we're feeling. But I've just laid that on the shelf.
It's tough.
It is tough. That's
Till you can deal with it.
Till you can deal with it. Just lay it up there, and
that's human.
I mean, that's good.
I mean, the prophet called the bears down to eat the children.
Yeah.
Because they called him baldy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a little bit rough.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm glad that we can't do that nowadays, because a lot of people be eat up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know a few.
I think about that stuff in our life and how we having that, and it's hard. We won't forgive them. It's hard to forgive them. We won't even ask God to help us.
No. Yep.
You know, because we would rather hold on to that, so we're mad enough.
Yeah.
To be able to get them told.
I don't know if I would forever, like, I don't think we would be punished by God if we don't forgive certain people. I think he might, I mean, just don't let that be part of your life no more.
Well, I think the challenge, though, is the point here you're talking about. Okay, and it's all right, but I mean, we have a part that we got to forgive them.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we do remember what they've done.
Yeah.
And but it's so this human part of us that I believe that part's not going to heaven. Okay. This whole human part, it holds on, and we think about things.
Yeah.
And it does ponder us, especially now. This is the problem: is I can forgive because it doesn't matter to me. a politician that says something about another politician, because they
Mhm.
really don't care.
Yeah, they don't.
But if somebody would say something to one of my children, then I'd say, hold on just a second.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know,
Yeah.
I may forgive you, but I'm going to give somebody a whipping. Okay, so I mean, there's a point there that we run into. The closer it is to our heart, the harder it is to forgive.
Yeah, that's true. I guess
Yeah.
I never thought of it like that.
I look at that, and it ain't like, it's not like strangers.
No,
I've shared this before. Life only has two parts:
Mhm.
an area of influence and an area of concern. There's some
That's
things
good.
that we can be concerned about.
Yeah.
Like for example, we both know a person that we think is stupid, that's
Mhm.
done some crazy things.
Yep.
But really, that can only be an area we can be concerned about. We can't change that person.
No.
We have an area of influence. That's those two kids down there.
Yeah. You're
Okay,
right.
and that's your husband. And the more we concentrate on the ones that we can influence,
Mhm.
and the less on things that we can just be concerned about, because we only got 24 hours today,
Yeah. That's good,
and
John.
we only got so much we can do. So
Some
we
good
gotta,
wise
we
words.
got to let loose of this part over here.
Yeah.
You know,
That does make
so
sense.
much-
100% makes sense.
So my heart, my emotions, my attention, I want to concentrate on what I can change.
That's good. I'm glad you told me
Let
that.
the rest of it fly. Let the rest of it fly.
Yeah, let it go.
Let them dirt bags fly.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's the way I see it.
That's true.
You know, it's just
You have to focus on what's in front of you that means
that you can change.
Yeah, that means the most to you, and that you can change things in front of you. We can't change people that don't want to be changed.
We can't change it, man.
No.
And you know, it's just there's sometimes people are doing what they want to do.
Yep.
They are, and they're in that position. And if they're not doing it in my yard,
Yep.
or
We should just not care.
that's exact. And there's a difference between something that people have done and something that people are doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Once they've done something, I can't do anything about that.
Mm-hmm.
But now, if they're doing something, you know, I can say, hold on just a second, quit that,
Mm-hmm.
stop that, you know, and I don't think there's a problem with that.
Yeah.
You know, saying stop that.
No, I don't think so either.
I used to get beat up. I got beat up a time or two when I was little. And I used to have a boy I went to school with, and he whipped me a couple times on the way home from school. And I can't still hold a grudge at him. And he used to have another one. Got in a fight time or two that with him, and he whipped me. And but I can't. That's already gone.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I seen him, I'm a little bigger. Okay, it'd be a little different. Okay, I feel like it would be I could get a good 60 to 90
They
seconds
probably
on him.
you probably shouldn't find them on the street somewhere.
Yeah, I
They
don't.
might
I
be-
don't think they can. I don't think it'd be. I think it'd be different. But see, those things are already done. I can't dwell on.
Yeah.
Dwelling. Those whippings I already had. So when you think about it in life now, I try to look at things and say, all right, what can I really change today?
Yeah.
And how can I help somebody? What can I really do?
Yeah.
Okay, and it makes such a difference.
Also helping others. Like if you go through a time
Mm-hmm.
that you have hurt by someone, I think
Yeah.
helping someone else actually just lifts you up.
Yes,
So
I do.
Seeing that with my sister, I think she's
Yes.
always been a giver,
Yeah,
and she's doing really good.
yeah, I think she is. I'm proud of her.
Considering her situation,
Yes,
she's
I'm
done
proud
great.
of her.
She is doing really good.
And I think you got a great family. And she's got having there's so many people that have no support.
Yeah.
That go through catastrophes in their life,
Mhm.
and they have no support system.
It does take a support system.
Yeah.
If a person
We're
don't have
blessed.
that, yeah, we have good families. I couldn't imagine what my sister went through,
Yeah.
and not having nobody to be
Not
there
having
for
that.
her.
And
That would be awful.
think about people out there that go through things though, Priscilla, that don't have anybody. I mean that's
Yeah.
heartbreaking. The people that don't have anybody.
I know that is. And that's why we find probably a lot of people on the street that turn to everything because of the situations. Because, you know, I couldn't imagine that.
Yeah.
Family is important, and you can even adopt yourself a family. Find a group of people. You know,
Yeah.
there's people out there to take people in, and it's just I'm blessed to have my family
Yes,
and
yes,
my
ma'am.
friends and my adopted family.
All right. So let's talk about this in closing. One thing.
Okay.
Let's talk about addictions.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I think you can become addicted to things.
Yes.
Okay. And you know, I don't talk about people who are addicted to the Oxycontin.
Yeah.
Because I have a hard enough time not eating chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah.
And so I mean you
It's
can
pop
become
for me.
addicted. I mean you can become addictions are so strong in people's lives, and they become addicted to pain pills or become addicted to alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some things that I don't know how they feel, but it has to be hard.
I couldn't imagine. Well, it's just like me trying to quit drinking pop.
Right.
I do it for a few days, doing proud of myself, and then
Yeah.
I'd go and have a pop. I've never had no major addictions, like unhealthy. Well,
But don't
pop
you
is
think
unhealthy.
sugar, though? Think about this.
Yeah, it's
I
very
think
unhealthy.
sugar's worse than crack, man.
It is. It's
Because
very
it's
bad.
so prevalent. I mean,
And
it's everywhere.
it's bad for your heart. It's bad for and it is everywhere. And
Addiction.
it's awful. It is hard.
Yeah.
It
I mean,
is.
I know I've got friends that are alcoholics that I know.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know they drink, and I don't know why they drink. But I mean, they probably don't know why I eat cookies. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, but I mean, I see people that are addicted to things, and I know it has to be hard.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's why we should, and I tell my boys, we don't judge.
Right.
We pray for everybody.
Yeah.
People, I know I'll probably get judged by Eric for drinking as much pop as I drink, but he used to not drink nothing, like straight water.
Right.
Got on Marine Corps, stayed healthy. Now he's drinking them energy drinks.
Oh, bad for you.
And I think he's got addicted to those. So addiction is something that everyone don't think they have an addiction, but I think we're all addicted to something. So you're right on that, and it's definitely difficult.
I mean, I watch things that I think that I would, and I talk about, it's like, I drink too much Diet Pepsi.
Yeah.
Okay. And I drink a little Fresca too.
Yeah.
Now I get in. It's a little hard to get.
Yeah.
But I think about I drink those things along and do it, and I should just drink water.
I know.
But I believe it's a slap addiction.
It is. It is. And then when you go to quit drinking it, you get a busting headache. You feel miserable.
Yeah.
So I mean,
it's weird how addictions
it's funny how we start doing things that's unhealthy for us, and then you can't let it go.
But then we judge people.
Yeah.
That are addicted. I mean, I've seen these videos, and I know you've watched some people on the street heavy addicted to things.
Breaks my heart.
I mean, that are addicted to horse tranquilizers and all these things out there. And then, man, alive. And I'm real gentle on
I am too.
Judging people. Now, I don't say, well, how could they do that?
Yeah.
I don't say that anymore.
Well, they are human, and we should love and show help, especially as Christian people, instead of judging. And an addiction is an addiction.
Yeah. And
where people needs help, we need to show a helping hand.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to help people like that. I know, because it's could be hard, but why not try?
Yeah, it really is. And I don't know, man. I think about it all the times. I think I was thinking a little while ago, and I got out me a glass of milk and got those Chips Ahoy cookies out, and I said, I'm going to have me a few cookies. You know what I mean? And you think about stuff along. You think about the addiction to sugar. I think I may be addicted to sugar after 65 years. I may be figuring this out.
Well,
I could blame it on my parents early on. Maybe it's their fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes.
I don't know where my Dr. Pepper addiction came from. We didn't have much pop in the house when we was growing up. It's just water. So maybe I should blame. I don't know who to blame.
It's
the
somebody.
church parties.
Yes, that makes me feel better already.
They gave me pop at the church.
So it's not our fault.
No, the church introduced me.
That's a good
pop.
way to end the topic of addiction.
I was so happy to church dinners when I can get me a cup of Coke, because Mom didn't have pop at home. So that's where I started. It's at the church.
We used to send down and get a 6-pack of Pepsis in a bottle,
Yeah.
Mom would send me down to get that little carton.
Yeah.
Carried up to the house. Them little bottles would shake and rattle. I can remember carrying them up the steps. So our addiction is not mine and Chris's fault. We don't know what's wrong with the rest of y'all.
No. No, it's not ours.
I don't
Blame
know.
the people who made it.
That's exactly right. That Pepsi people.
Yeah, they're the one who
We'll
did
find
it.
somebody that works for them and have a talk with them.
Yeah, because we can't quit it. We've tried.
Golly. I don't know if we should air this part.
Probably not.
Well, okay. I really appreciate Priscilla taking time and being here with me today. It's a blessing to have her. Blessing to have her part of my family. I enjoy her, appreciate her. It's good to have people like her that are wealthy and influential in my family that I can go to when I need stuff. And say, hey, I need some sheep. Okay.
Yep.
These sheep are laying around down here just having their self time. Before we close, let me show you the sheep. I'll show
This
you.
This is where he uses the sheep to
show
clear
you
his
the
property.
Okay. Now, here they are. We're speaking of the sheep, and here they are. Okay. And they gathered up around the tripod a minute ago, and they were just having themselves a time, and they commenced to try to bite the tripod, but we stopped them. And they're very intense right now. Pretty good congregation. Well, all right. Thank you for watching Just from the Shed. Adios.